Today we're diving deep into the oldest rainforest on Earth, the incredible Daintree Rainforest. And if that wasn't exciting enough, we'll be experiencing it in the middle of a proper tropical storm. But before we venture into the wild, we'll be stopping at this stunning coastal town of Port Douglas, famous for its laid-back vibe, palm-lined beaches and incredible views. This is shaping up to be a day full of adventure, wild weather and unforgettable moments, and honestly, a day I don't think I will ever forget. So let's get into it. Good morning from the beautiful and tropical Port Douglas, which we're just about to go round and explore. But we have started off at the church, which is just in behind me. I think it's called St. Mary's Church. It is beautiful inside, so I definitely recommend going to look in there. But just look at how amazing this looks. On a blue sky day, it'd be even better. But there's a sign literally just over here saying be wary of crocodiles, so you don't want to go too close to this water or for a paddle in that beach, as you may lose a leg. So whilst we are in Port Douglas, we're going to be exploring the high street, then hopefully we'll grab a little bit of food too and maybe do some shopping, because there's some quite nice quaint shops, but they've also actually got quite modern shops like Cotton On and ones like that. But right now we're heading our way over to this little pier to get an even better view of the scenery. This looks incredible. So in the background, you've got like the mangroves, you've got Daintree Rainforest, which you can see right up there at the top too, which is really cool. You've got people on jet skis. Now, I wouldn't want to be on a jet ski knowing that it could be crocodile infested waters, but they obviously know what they're doing. And then what's quite cool is they're actually doing a little bit of spear fishing. So you might be able to see there on the end of there. It's like a little spear, which they're obviously using to try and catch some fish. But honestly, I don't know why anyone would want to try and catch fish whilst in a crocodile infested water. But now we're going to be heading into the town to see what it looks like there. It is a shame though that you can't actually swim on the beaches, because they are really nice, white sandy, and the water is really clear too. But then obviously as you go further out, it gets a bit murkier. The high street is lovely, so it's got loads of nice places to go for food. There's loads of nice shops too, and there's even a massage parlour if you did want to get a massage there. And you can also park down the centre of the high street where there's plenty of parking. However, it does look pretty busy, and bear in mind we're here off season. It does get a lot busier during the winter. So you've just been inside one of the art shop where basically the husband goes out and takes these amazing photos of the wildlife, of the nature all around here, and then the wife goes and paints them, which looks amazing too. Definitely wish we could have bought some of those pieces, but they were just a little bit too expensive and too big for us, especially when we're getting on a plane from Cairns to Adelaide. But now we're getting a little bit hungry as it's getting close to lunchtime, so we're going to go and try and find a shop that does pastries and pies and go and get some food from there. We've just come over to a shop and I think they've got a real frog in the front of their shop here, which I don't think is meant to be there, so they're probably going to move it out. So it turns out that it is a real frog. It's meant to be there, and it's the largest tree frog in Queensland, and he's got a name called Fred, and apparently he came in during one of the really wet rainy seasons, and since then he's just homed himself in the shop, so that's pretty cool. So I got myself a spinach and ricotta puff pastry, which was delicious, and Dad got himself a pie, which I was quite surprised about, because in this heat I don't know how anyone would ever want a pie. But they were $8 each, so only about £4, which is pretty good. And then we also got some ice cream straight after, and for 2 scoops it was $7, which is £3.50, so that's not too bad either. But now we're going to head over towards the Daintree Rainforest to go and have a look at that. On the way to the rainforest, we've stopped off at a viewpoint, which is Flagstaff Hill, and just look at how incredible that is. You can see 4 miles, and there's a lovely beach literally just down there, and it looks like they've got like a swimming area. So in quite a lot of the beaches here, they have like a netted area to stop the crocodiles and the jellyfish from getting to the people. But the clouds just sort of sit on top of the mountain, which is incredible. And then it's obviously just 90% rainforest. It was literally a 2-minute drive to here from Port Douglas, which is like civilization. So it's really cool how you can just do that quick drive and you're straight back into the rainforest. There are also some lovely houses too, which I can imagine are super expensive, which is just sat on the side of this hill with those amazing views. Our next stop is the Mosselman Gorge Cultural Centre, where hopefully we're going to have a little stroll around the Daintree Rainforest while learning a little bit more about the rainforest itself. So we have just bought our tickets for the shuttle bus, which cost $15 per adult or $7.50 per child. And we're now about to head on and go to the area where you do your walk. So I think it's just one big long walk, which takes around an hour. So we'll have to see, and I'll let you know. So we've just made our way now onto the boardwalk, and there are 4 different walks which you can do, and we're going to do the longest one, which is 3.4 kilometers. So it says it's going to take 2 hours, but I think it'll be a lot quicker. So I'll let you know how long it does take us, but it is stunning. Look at how amazing it is to walk through the rainforest. And if you've ever been to like the rainforest cafes and stuff, it's basically like seeing that, but in real life. So hopefully we get to see some incredible wildlife. It's not too busy either. I don't know whether that's because we're here obviously out of peak season, but thankfully it's not raining at the moment, and it was meant to be wet season whilst we are here, and we've actually not seen any rain, touch wood. So we've now made it to the creek where you can basically go and swim, which is incredible. Just look at this. So there's people jumping in over there. It does say more dangerous than usual, so people probably shouldn't be swimming in here today, but they've basically got like a little beach so you can sunbathe and then you can swim in the creek. So as you can see, there is a really strong current going down and through, but people are basically jumping in and letting the current take them. But it does look very dangerous. You literally just saw someone a second ago struggling to actually swim in the current. So if you're not a confident swimmer, I don't recommend doing it. So next up is the Rex Creek Bridge, which is actually pretty scary if you're not into bridges. It's very springy and bouncy, but the noise you can hear is the current going on in behind me. And you can imagine when it is raining and it's super, super quick, the current, that it could literally wash people and animals away. The walk through the forest is a really nice walk, but the one thing that has surprised me since being here and walking through the rainforest is the lack of wildlife that you see. You don't really see much apart from a couple of spiders, the odd birds, but I think most of it must be hidden. But for some reason, before we came here, I did expect to see much more. Just listen to all of the sounds of the rainforest, and I believe it actually might be beginning to rain, but I'm not feeling any rain at all, but you can actually hear the rain above us right now. But it's a fairly challenging walk, but I don't think it'll take us 2.5 hours. It's quite sort of up and down, as you can see there in front of us, but I think most people should be able to do it.
Now this is a proper rainforest. It has just started absolutely tipping it down. I jinxed it earlier and I shouldn't have said anything. The path has just turned into a river as we are walking. It's actually crazy. I'm trying to keep the camera dry because it's not waterproof. Beth got caught on the barbed wire.
And as you can see, we got pretty wet, so I was unable to film a lot of it because my camera's not actually waterproof, and I left the waterproof camera in the car, which was stupid of me because it was the best experience ever in the rainforest, experiencing the actual rainforest, walking up paths which just turned into rivers, seeing a wild boar run across too. It was amazing, but it does raise all the mozzies, so we've got loads of bites now, which is not ideal, so I highly recommend taking some mosquito spray. But now the sun's come out, as you can see, which is a little bit annoying, but at the same time we wouldn't have got that rainforest experience. We got stuck on the way back too because the bus basically had to stop at this causeway where it was just flooded and there was rushing water. I'll see if I can get a video of it up right this second, but it was horrific. But now we're going to head back into the car and back to the hotel, and if I missed anything I'll put it up now.
So I just ping the web if someone comes to us.
So I've got changed and we're now heading out for the evening, but we went back via the Captain Cook Highway, which I highly recommend. I mean, it is the only way of getting from Cairns up north, but it is stunning, and we stopped off at an amazing viewpoint too called Rex's Lookout. And now we are back in the room. So we had a really lovely evening. I didn't get to record too much of it because I was spending time with the family and I didn't want to shove the camera in their faces. But we started off with the Italian restaurant where we went over to Vitalia's, and it tasted okay. I've definitely had better Italian food, but we all had a starter to share. We all had a main, and then we all had an alcoholic drink too. And it came to about $58 per person. So I've definitely been to more expensive places, but I've definitely been to cheaper Italians too. We then headed to the bar downstairs in the hotel, and it wasn't too expensive. I was expecting it to be a bit more because it looks quite fancy. However, it costed about $14 to $15 for a schooner of beer, so a bit more expensive than the restaurants and bars we've been to, but it was a pretty fancy bar. And now we're about to head off to bed as we're going to be going over to the Barrier Reef tomorrow, so we've got to get up nice and early. So if you have got this far, you must have enjoyed this vlog, so I'd really appreciate it if you smash that like button and subscribed if you are new, because you don't want to miss out on our final day here in Cairns. You can go back and check the other 2 days out too, because they were really good fun. I also have plenty of other vlogs from different countries around the world which you can check out too. So I'll see you all tomorrow. We'll be heading over to the Barrier Reef.